the stone kiss. Millions of times I had heard people ask me how I could be so cheeky. On Friday night, sitting in the square with 6 cans of beer and a statue for company, I reflected on it. That evening, I had encountered a series of situations that my mother would have assured me were due to my brazen stone face. Hours before, with the pleasant temperature hinting at good omens, I put on my best clothes and studied my reflection in the mirror. Stone, marble, or whatever it was, my face looked as if it had been sculpted by a master, though I disagreed with those who claimed my stupid eyes ruined everything. They might not look the most intelligent, but their aquamarine brilliance left no one indifferent. As lonely as I was now, with 5 beers and a pretty statue of a lady, I had started the night with a small group of friends, just as funny and charming as me. It was the perfect day to party and find a woman to kiss. With that objective, we headed to the nearest nightclub, where we were sure to find plenty of potential matches. Fate didn't seem to agree with my intentions. That night, it seemed intent on giving my face more blows than kisses. As soon as we arrived, while I was drinking something as blue as my eyes, I noticed a pretty woman looking at me from a few meters away. We fell into a quiet trance, our eyes like magnets pulling us through the sea of bodies until we finally stood face to face. We began to talk, having an amicable chat that I knew was pleasant for both of us while I sipped slowly from my glass. I was sure I was going to succeed with the brown-haired girl. That night, I would not go home without receiving a kiss from those full lips, or so it seemed, until the prominent figure of a goddess in a green top distracted me, causing me to spill the remainder of my drink on the woman I was talking to. Our game of glances, which had been key until then, was what led to my downfall. My companion, seeing what I was looking at, slapped me and walked away. That was the first setback that led me to be in the square alone with 4 beers and a beautiful statue in a deserted square. I can't say that the night would have gone very well at the disco either. With a sore cheek, I set out to meet my friends and carry on with the rest of the evening. I found them on a terrace, enjoying a cigarette and chatting animatedly with some girls. Within the group of friends, there was one girl who, as soon as I saw her, made sparks fly between us. She was a beautiful woman with long blonde hair that rippled gracefully in the wind. Immediately, we started talking, and I felt that I would get that precious kiss. Once again, the deity in the green top and plunging neckline caught me off guard. Her rhythmic wiggle caught my attention just as I was about to light a cigarette, and a mischievous gust of wind conspired to set the blonde's hair on fire. This incident quickly extinguished the passion that had been igniting between us, and after she slapped me, she walked away with her friends. I lit a cigarette again in the round square of my neighborhood, accompanied by my 3 beers and the beautiful statue. It had been hard for my friends to forgive me for the girl's departure, but with my charms I convinced them that we could find even better girls. Thus, we returned to the dance floor, ready to dance the night away. At that moment, I saw the most beautiful creature in the whole disco. She had short, jet-black hair, a sexy, provocative look, and was wearing a dress that barely reached her knees. Seeing that she was accompanied by girls as pretty as she was, we headed there with my friends. The girl was as nice as she was attractive, and talking to her, I was convinced that it was the end of the night when misfortune struck again in the form of a pair of breasts that crossed my path. I was in high spirits, with my arm around the short-haired girl's waist, when the mystical creature in the green top paraded in front of me again. This time, my body felt an intense desire to follow my eyes. Like an automaton, without fully realizing it, I began to separate from the girl I was talking to and went after the stranger in the green top. Bad luck struck. The button of my shirt got caught in the brunette's dress. When I started to walk away, I ripped it off completely. I didn't get far from my companion. After yanking her dress back and delivering what I thought would be the last slap of the night, she moved away, offended. If nightclub security hadn't kicked me out, my friends would surely have done it, as I had ruined everyone's evening. That's how I ended up in the square alone with 2 beers and the dazzling statue of a female figure. Everything about her was perfect. The details were engraved in stone with such finesse. I was intoxicated by her beauty, and little by little I moved closer. Nothing could go wrong with a woman like this. Her stone eyes wouldn't notice if I looked at another figure. Her hair wouldn't catch fire, and her clothes were already half torn. She was the ideal girl I had been looking for. Without hesitating one more minute, I got on the podium where she was located, and looking at the full lips that seemed to call to me, I planted an intense kiss. Expecting to feel the cold touch of stone, I was shocked by the intense warmth beneath my lips, only to be struck by a heavy hand that knocked me to the ground.
Before trying to kiss me, you could have at least treated me to the beer you had left, right?
The angry statue scolded me. In that instant, the world around me went black, and I regained consciousness when one of my friends started shaking me awake. As I got up from the ground, I looked closely at the statue, which appeared as cold and frozen as ever. I touched my face and felt it burning from all the slaps I had received that day. I couldn't say exactly what had happened that night, but it was clear that no one had wanted to kiss me.